Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so excited to bring Cory Sorice, the Senior Vice President and Chief Innovation Officer of Masonite, a leading manufacturer and very innovative company. Cory has decades of experience within technology markets. He has been with Kwikset, he's been with Chamberlain, and has helped develop new innovative product solutions for the connected world. So Cory, welcome today. I want to note that we are so appreciative of Masonite's support of our Connections conferences and excited to be in Vegas talking about new innovative technologies at CES. So let's go ahead and start out and see if you can share some of the most recent trends that you're seeing in the smart home space and where Masonite fits in the picture.
Well, I'll tell you, Elizabeth, it's going to be great to be back live. And I'm so excited for us to have a chance to see each other, in Vegas soon. So thanks for that. It's always hard to hear decades of time in an industry. So, from that perspective, I'd also say Parks Associates has been, with me and, with the companies I've worked with over that time. So thanks for that. As you mentioned, Masonite's a leading global manufacturer of interior and exterior doors. And, at this show, we're going to be really excited to introduce Empower Smart Doors. It's really the first residential exterior door system to integrate power, light, video doorbell, a smart lock into a door system. I think that, when you ask about trends, one of the things that we're going to continue to expect is greater integration and simplicity. And I think the two of those things are finally, as an industry, starting to come together and giving us an opportunity to really deliver what, homeowners and users are expecting from us as an industry, which is a unified experience.
That's great. And we certainly are tracking the consumer perspective on wanting that unified experience and really looking to technology to create additional value in their lives. Our latest research shows that 56% of consumers report technology playing a more important role as a result of the pandemic. Can you share a little bit about what you've seen in the last 18 months? I mean, has the pandemic been a catalyst for your company's vision of this connected world we now live in?
People have really started to appreciate their homes. And, we think that, sanctuary is an important place. Along with it, security is important, comfort's important. And what we've seen is, the idea of having, more awareness of what's happening around your home is preeminent. So, perimeter security is important. And, our partners in Ring and Yale know about that as a priority to their business. It's obviously a priority to us. And it's important to homeowners. So from that perspective, I think the appreciation of, migrating back into the home, using home as, kind of the center of where family and friends come together for what matters most for you is something that we see as a growing trend. How people think about their homes and how they interact with their homes and come and go from them have definitely changed in the last 18 months. And we continue to expect to see that going forward, that's a change that's long lasting, that people will continue to value their home in a way that maybe they didn't before the pandemic.
Yeah, and I'm in complete agreement there. And we also see this blurred lines between work and consumers being at home. And so I think while many corporations are trying to get people back in the office, it's clear that this hybrid work environment and somewhat flexible schedule is going to really create major shifts in just, the daily work days. It's a different world there. And so there's increased value on broadband services and really the experience that technology can bring at home. You mentioned, moving beyond just the doors. And so tell me how innovative technologies and connectivity can, how is this working where the door now is becoming connected? Where's that extended value coming in for the consumer?
One of the things that, is novel in our marketplace is the idea that we're integrating what is a residential exterior door, your front door to your home. And, we've talked about this a bit as a company. There's been a lot of innovation around the front door. There's not been a lot of innovation with the front door. And when we reached out to our partners, Ring and Yale, and said we had a vision, which was to help solve the problems that connected home users have today, which is batteries run out. It's really hard to actually engage the category from a design standpoint if you're a manufacturer for it, from a design standpoint. And those are things that homeowners talked about to us. They said those are great points of frustration. And as we started to think about it, a couple things have to happen to make that work. One is you can't do it alone. You have to do it with these partners, of which we found really great feedback from Ring and Yale. We're seeing even more of that interest in the marketplace over time. And then you have to really be progressive about how you think about the design. We're moving from a traditional wood framed door with fiberglass primarily on our exterior doors to cabling systems and power management systems and IoT connectivity. And for a company like Masonite that hasn't done that before, relative to my experience a couple decades ago and a decade ago, the industry has matured greatly, and our ability to move on idea into a first ship door in about a year and a half really is a testament to the maturity that's happening in the industry generally. And my goal for Masonite, I know it's my boss's goal, Howard Heckes as well as the CEO of the company, is to really see this become a market standard, to have power and connectivity be in every front door that goes out from our manufacturing facilities, but also then is an expectation that home builders have, and as people renovate their homes, that people would say that this is something that they expect as a standard. So from that perspective, we think we're just at the beginning of what we would consider to be our core strategy, which is doors that do more. We think we can bring to the industry opportunities to do more with doors and door systems. And we want to do that. We want to actually make that a reality for homeowners.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see some amazing innovation announced at CES, and really a lot of conversations around partnerships and the value that different ecosystems can bring together. It really speaks to the vision that we've all been talking about the last, at least at Parks Associates, the last 35 years, with this whole home controls and whole home services. And like you said, it feels like now we're in the beginning, but yet all the foundation has gotten laid in terms of broadband and the home network and connected devices and Wi-Fi and voice recognition that also allows for a lot of integration across products. But that interoperability issue is still one that is a huge challenge the industry is working towards. Do you have any comments overall on the interoperability issue we've been looking for a solution to?
We've been around that block a few times, haven't we? What's really interesting is 20 years ago, I worked at Black & Decker on lighting systems, and the biggest frustration was, do I really want another remote in my house? And the answer was no. Like, just connectivity and connected home systems don't stand alone that well, and especially if it adds more control complexity. And then the iPhone came out, and really I think what came from that was a unified remote, which was really important. Which is really the first layer, if you think about it, of interoperability. I can have multiple apps on one control device, which is an iPhone or an Android device, and then be able to toggle between those different experiences, but in one place. And I think that actually is the first step of unification. And I know there are a lot of people who want more steps there. And my time at Chamberlain, what happened is we launched MyQ, and realized along the way that 35% of homeowners had that at the time. So to your point, when we talk about broadband adoption and mobile adoption, boy, in 2012, there was not a lot of adoption on the mobile side, which made having that universal control device a barrier. And then using apps with connected home devices or IoT devices was then a barrier, still is today. And the philosophy that I believe in first is you have to have a great use case and as a single product. And then you then need to think about integration to key ecosystems second to that. And if you don't have a really great use case as a single product, then all the IoT stuff you're building as a company doesn't have a lot of value. And then you'll ask yourself as a company, why are we doing this? It's to integrate to an ecosystem that may have value. And, I would contend that that's not the reason you would stand that all of that investment up as a company. What we see at Masonite with something like an Empower smart doors system is this idea that we have the right kinds of use cases for homeowners at the threshold. Notably, when you walk up to your door system, you can have motion activated lighting at the threshold. It's happened in other categories in the home. We're bringing it to the front door, which we think is a logical use case for the front door. Adding video doorbells and smart locks and then powering them also solves all the problems in that situation. Obviously, the folks that we work with at Ring would love for us to do more use cases with their alarm system. And we want to do those because we think that those continue to make sense for homeowners. The front door entry system being part of your security system is a no-brainer. So those are the kinds of things that when we think about integration, we want to be thoughtful about how we do that. But we have even more partners coming to us now, which we're excited about, saying we have ways to enhance, comfort, security, and safety. And we're definitely interested in going down that path with those partners. So it's an exciting time from that perspective.
It certainly is an exciting time to be in the industry. And as we see these different ecosystems really having some overlapping opportunities to create new experiences, it does feel like we have different tipping points that are going on all around the home. And if you look at indoor air quality, if you look at home security, if you look at families with children and the value there with understanding parental controls and device usage at home as kids basically grow up with connected devices in ways we never did. There certainly is a need for more services, and that push with hardware providing services in this connected environment is really also creating all sorts of new reoccurring revenue opportunities. And finally on the MDU side or multifamily, great opportunities to scale and provide enormous benefits for property managers and building owners, as well as, the consumer experience. Consumers expect an Uber world, they've got Uber. And so there's all sorts of things that technology enables that can provide that personalized experience with comfort and control and safety and security, independent living, caretaking, helping your parents out, lots of value there. So, Cory, it's great talking to you. I want to give you the last word here and tell me, what do you see, 12 to 18 months out for our industries, maybe some of the challenges that you all are hitting on, and where we can expect our connected world to take us in the short term.
Yeah, no, that's great. The interesting part of the equation, I think, as we start to look forward for homeowners getting the experience they want, is how much help they'll need to do that. And our category, especially in exterior doors, is a professionally installed category. What we're introducing will require active engagement by contractors and home builders and dealers to understand the category. Work with Parks Associates to start to understand how to deliver value in that situation, but also then work with the manufacturing community. Masonite specifically wants a contractor base to come forward and say, we want to be solution providers for homeowners, right? We as a company will need that over time. We want to work with home builders as well in that scenario, because those actors are going to make the category happen. We can develop great solutions and services. We need, our value chain partners to step in as well. And I know in a number of different verticals, we're seeing that, right? So from that perspective, I think there's a great education opportunity as we go to CES and we all start to talk about this together. I've always been a fan of making sure that we make as Masonite doors that do more and compelling use cases for homeowners. And then what we really would love to have is, those partners that want to differentiate themselves and create really unique experiences today, but what will be standard experiences tomorrow. We would love to entertain those conversations as we go to Vegas and do this all together.
Well, we certainly appreciate Masonite's continued support. It's always a pleasure to work with you and your team. And so thank you again for your time today, and look forward to the continued conversations in 2022.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. It's always a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you live again.